Alright, it's time for EverQuest Legends. So I've been absolutely dominating with Berserker, Paladin, Bard. I went to Befallen around level 7. Things really took off at level 10 when I added in the Paladin. Let me show you a little bit about what we got going on here. So in Path of Exile, we would call this a zero-button build. I turn on Autoattack, and then I'm smiting, bashing, healing, kicking, slay undead. This weird instrument of knife thing like pops open and does 150 damage every once in a while to undead. It's crazy. We got about 4 mobs here, and that's going to be absolutely no problem for us at all. Even you can take 4 red mobs. If you roll, you can probably split a camp with like 6 red mobs. Especially if you're fully utilizing everything available. So how is the build working, right? Okay, so we're in Berserker stats, which is something that only Berserker gets. It makes us attack super fast, and our abilities work super fast, okay? Then we're in Spellblade Invocation. That gives us a free Paladin here every once in a while. I think I actually get a new one, 2 levels, so that's gonna feel really good. And the way it works is, because Paladins have Lay on Hands, heals us to full. The way it works is, that would normally be like every 15 minutes, but every time you cast Smite, which is an EverQuest Legends ability, the cooldown reduces a little bit. And so I can cast Lay on Hands. Right now, it feels like every 2 or 3 minutes. I do sometimes just like heal up between combat rather than like use the Lay on Heals, just to like keep it up for like a really gnarly pull, you know? Because if I want to kill like 5 reds at once, I do need that Lay on Hands to be up. Okay. I need new hunting grounds soon, because when I came here, I was level 21, and I could kill like all these reds who were like level 30. At this point, I think I could go to like a camp where like the mobs are like more like 37, and I can start doing that. I just haven't bothered yet because I've been leveling up so fast. I don't really know upper Guck that well. I'm lower Guck that. Anyway, I'm also Bard, so the very first thing you want to do on this build is to take Symphonic Aura, and like all 10 ranks, by the way. Every other rank costs 3 points, so in total it's 15 AA. And what that will allow, it's a class AA Symphonic Aura. What that allows is for the bottom 5 Bard songs here are just playing all the time. So I've got 4 songs to kind of like buff me, and 1 song is just like an AoE slow. So every mob I'm fighting, I can't quite believe it because it sounds so insane, but every mob I'm fighting is slowed. So you can see here, he's got the Largo's melodic binding on him. It's just so amazing. Just like, everyone is slowed and I'm hasted. You know, good luck, mobs. Spoiler alert, there's no luck for them. So that's the Bard, that's the Berserker, that's the Paladin. If you don't know, what you want to do is you want to come to your abilities and make sure they're all toggled to attack automatically. So Frenzy, really good Berserker ability, Kick, Slam, and Smite. A Slam is toggled off because you can use either Slam or Dash. I'm not really sure which is better. So you can see I'm just like demolishing all these guys here. You know, at level 7, as just Berserker and Bard, it felt a little bit uncomfortable to fight. It was a little bit of a challenge. Then at level 10, I added the Paladin with Smite right away, and we just, you know, absolutely went to town. You can see here I've killed like 10 mobs. I've barely healed. I haven't even used Lay on Hands yet. Here, we'll go over here to these 5 yellow skeletons, and that'll give me a little bit of a challenge. Even this next pull has like a bunch of mobs, so I'm gonna heal up for it. Yeah, but when the battle's going, pretty much the only thing I do is choose when to use Lay on Hands. I also can press Disarm if I want to. I don't know why that's not automated, and I don't really know. I don't really know what it does. It doesn't seem to do anything. It just fails every time I use it, even though my skill is 88. So maybe someday that'll be good. Now, these guys now, they were all red when I started. This was a very hard pull, and I can even use this Bard song, Kaelin's Luxurious Lambent, to kind of one by one lull them, and then use this Bard song, Briscoe's Boastful Bellow, to pull after I've done all the lulling, so that way you can kind of split up a room pretty easily. I'll do that for the skeletons, maybe. But you can see these guys are just getting absolutely crushed. What else should I tell you about the build? Oh, I want to talk about gear. So obviously I've been to Befallen. I picked up the Shrink shoulders from Blackburrow. Those are pretty good. I should do another video about how to get them. Here on +5, you know, it's even wearable. It's very nice. I've got all these pristine studded leather items from Befallen. And then just rounding out everything else is just like various ring mail and like cloth, rings that dropped from Befallen. You know, in this build, by the way, your primary stat, for me at least, I consider it to be AC. You know, I just want AC, and then I have strength and stamina. You know, agility, dexterity, wisdom, intelligence, charisma. That's just kind of flavor text to us. Like, hey, I'm sure that it matters sometimes, but not a lot. You know, we are just gonna go and we are just gonna bash things. You know, with our strength and our hit points. So AC, strength, stamina, that's what you're really looking for. And then at some point you'll get an item that has haste on it as well. Of course, I don't know if dual wielding would be better. I'm using the two-hander from the level 16 boss in Befallen. Okay, let me do this big pull and then we'll round up the video. Let me show you real quickly just how to lull. So I click one, I press my second spell, this Kaelin's Luxurious Lament. Now he is kind of soothed. Now I'm going to click another one, and I'm going to press it again. And then I press it to stop casting. And then I find another one, and I press it again. Okay. And then one who I haven't lulled, I cast this Boastful Bellow. Okay. I somewhat split up the camp there. Not entirely as successful, but whatever. So here's your strategy for a long, hard fight. Like, say that I screwed up, or I did screw up, now I got 4. It's a long, hard fight, right? Where in Berserker stance, what I usually do is I usually wait until I need to lay on hands before I move out of Berserker stance. So I usually let this get down to about 20%, whatever. I mean, honestly, this is, I'm hardly going to need to do anything. But let's say I was at 5%. Let's lay on hands now. Okay, notice I didn't have to target myself. It worked because I have that implied healing option checked. Now at this point, I like to go into defensive stance, okay? So defensive stance is a really good way to mitigate damage. Warriors, paladins, and Shadow Knights get it because it's very efficient with the mitigated damage. Now, these guys are going to die very soon. And I could probably just go back to Berserker stance. But let's say I was still really taking a pounding. And I was getting down to like 30, percent, 20% life in my lay on hands. You can see it's already knocked off 4 minutes of cooldown because I've smited 4 times. Or 3 times. But let's say I was really struggling still, then I would move into evasive stance. And the way evasive stance uses, these guys are not going to hit me at all, but it drains my endurance really fast. So, first line of defense, lay on hands. Second line of defense, defensive stance. Final line of defense, evasive stance. And maybe by then, your lay on hands is even up again. But obviously, these guys were really no threat. I was just cosplaying for you guys that they were scary. I'm just going to go back into Berserker stance because, that's what does the most. Berserker stance just makes me attack so fast and smite so fast. You can see my lay on hands is like already halfway. It's almost up already again. So, you know, you can see how insanely powerful that is. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to just go on to the next fight. You know, just I did manage to lull one of them back. And crowd control. Let me show you options real quick. Alt O. You want persistent auto attack on. This makes it so I just like toggle instead of swinging at the next guy immediately. If the one guy is dead, that's amazing. And then, what was the other option that I mentioned? I can't remember what other option that I mentioned was. There's another option here that is also good. I want to keep playing EverQuest Legends. I'm not going to go back and edit this video, so sorry about that. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready to get out of this area where all these guys are yellows, because I can kill 4 reds at once. You know, so anyway, that is the Berserker Paladin Bard. Man, I just want to say the biggest thank you to Game John, because you know, this is amazing. I got a 3-day weekend. I got a great game. I even got like a friend group in this game of like 6-ish people who I used to work with, and friends of friends and stuff, and we're all gonna roll on Oggok servers. You know, that's just incredible. Autosell is amazing. I have look at how much money I have. I have like 800 platinum. It's crazy. It just feels so good, guys. So I hope you're enjoying EverQuest Legends as much as I am. If you're having trouble with your build, you know, highly recommend you come over to the Berserker Paladin Bard party. It's not too late to reroll, guys. It's only been 2 days. So reroll and get in this. All right. Until next time. Bye.